In this video, we look at the brand new DJI Goggles N3, the most affordable goggles that you can get. But are they any good? Let's find out. So these goggles are certainly a lot cheaper and look different to what we're used to. And the benefit to using goggles is it gives you this fantastic immersive experience, a bird's eye view, being able to directly see through the screens on your goggles what your camera is seeing. It's a completely different experience from using a controller. These are the most affordable goggles that you can pick up, and these are going to work perfectly with the DJI Neo drone, but they're also going to work with the DJI Avata 2 as well. So if you want to actually use the full FPV experience on these drones, but you don't want to spend a lot of money, then these could be a really good option for you. So the previous goggles that we saw was the DJI Goggles 3, and these are fantastic. They are much smaller, they've got an integrated battery, external antennas, and you can also look out of the cameras as well. So think of the Goggles N3 as like the budget entry-level version of actually getting goggles. So you might have the DJI Neo, you love flying in the cinematic modes, but you want to actually experience FPV flying, but you don't want to spend as much on the DJI Goggles 3. These are fantastic, but they're also really expensive as well. So this budget version, the DJI Goggles N3, let's have a look how these two are different. So the goggles are still nice and lightweight. They are certainly bigger and chunkier than the Goggles 3. But a benefit that this brings is that it means that because we've got this huge opening at the back now, if you wear glasses, you can keep them on whilst using these goggles. You see, on the DJI Goggles 3 and the previous goggles, what you'd have to do is you'd have to adjust the diameter, you'd have to use different strengths on here to actually get your perfect fit, and you couldn't wear glasses with these. And this was a bit of a downside to some people. So now if you wear glasses, you can still use your glasses with these now. Now normally you'd have two separate screens in here for each eye, but it's changed to now just one panel. And this is a 1080p 60Hz LCD screen. It's going to give you a 54 degrees field of view, and it's this ultra wide screen. On the Goggles 3, these are fantastic. These are a better quality screen, but you actually have to spend time adjusting that diameter and that focus. With these, it's just a case of putting these on your face and you're ready to fly because it is just one large panel. And also when wearing these, I haven't suffered from any motion sickness or dizziness, and the panel itself, it is really nice and sharp. Reading text, navigating through menus, it is super easy. You have OcuSync 4 video transmission. On the top of them, you're going to have external antennas, and this is going to give you a 1080p 60 FPS transmission. And when using these with like the motion controller, there's hardly any latency whatsoever. 31 milliseconds. On the Goggles 3, it was 24 milliseconds. And range of these is going to completely differ depending on your location, but DJI do say you're going to get 13 kilometers of range using these because of that OcuSync 4 transmission. But who's going to fly 13 kilometers away, especially in the DJI Neo? And I also find that these connect better than any other goggles as well. So you turn your DJI Neo on, you turn one of your controllers on, so let's just say the motion controller, but it also works with the DJI FPV controller 3 as well. So either of these controllers, you turn both of them on, you get your goggles, there's a power button on the side, so we just turn them on, and that will automatically connect. So it actually boots up. You can see it on the screen, the DJI logo, and it will just automatically connect. And you can see now it's going to sync up instantly within what, 10 seconds? That is now automatically synced. I don't need to actually run any cables to it. I don't need the DJI Fly app. I can now see directly out of my Neo screen through these toggles. So as a setup time, it's so much faster, and it works the exact same as well on the DJI Avata 2 as well. You can switch between the Avata 2 and the Neo all through these goggles, but setup time, rather than faffing around, this is brilliant. But then if you want a second screen, you might be with somebody who wants to see what you're seeing through them goggles. You just get your phone and you just run a cable from your phone directly into the top of these goggles. You open up the DJI Fly app, and then that person with you can see exactly what you're seeing through these goggles as well. Now, if navigating through the menus, you can do this on the goggles directly using this button on the top. But if you're using the Motion Controller 3, you can actually use it as an AR cursor. So you get this cursor on the screen and you can navigate through the menus just by using this. So it turns it into like a mouse, like a computer mouse. So for navigating through the menus, it is much faster and easier using this than the button on the top. And talking of settings, on the menus itself, it's not limited. It's exactly the same as it was on the DJI Goggles 3 as well. So if you have the DJI Avata or DJI Neo, those settings are exactly the same. It's also great if you have the DJI Neo, because using this setup means you can access things like return to home. You can have the max distance and height set on here up to 120 meters. And you can also adjust the sharpness. So the camera sharpness on here, naturally I think is too sharp, but you can go into the menus on these goggles and turn that down to -2. And when using the DJI Neo with the Motion Controller 3, you have access to Easy Acro. What this does, it mimics like FPV manual moves. So you can do rolls, barrel rolls, flips, all from using your DJI Neo. And what you do is just go to the menu, you actually access Easy Acro mode, and then you just literally push this joystick up and down and select one of these different Easy Acro modes. And if you use the DJI Avata 2, it's now got a new Easy Acro mode as well called Power Loop, and this is going to do a full 360 loop in the air. In the past, it would just do a really quick flip, but it was okay, it was a bit gimmicky. Now it does a full roll, so it's much better when using it on the DJI Avata 2. But it's also great if you want to use the DJI Neo in manual mode or have a bit more control on these flight sticks. You can fly DJI Neo with the Goggles N3 and the FPV Controller 3 to have full control. And it's also got a new feature built into this called Panoramic Video Playback. So think of it like a pano photo. You have this really wide angle photo. You can actually view that on here. So you go to your album and you can look at your photos and videos and actually experiencing it. So rather than just actually viewing that video in like 2D dimension, you actually select the button, it turns into pano mode, and then you can turn your head around in that area and see everything in this super wide angle immersive view. It's fantastic. I'm really glad we actually have this feature on these budget entry level goggles. So who are these goggles actually for? Well, I think if you picked up the DJI Neo, maybe you're using the RC controller, but you want to experience the FPV side of this, but you don't want to actually spend $579 on these goggles. You want to actually pick up an entry-level version that's going to give you a fantastic 1080p screen. You're going to have really nice comfort on here, and it's dead easy to use, really fast syncing. Then I think this is a great option for you. See, the price of these is $229, so much cheaper than the DJI Goggles 3. And what about if you have a DJI Avata? You might already have this system, in which case I don't think these goggles are going to be for you because you still have the better goggles, which are the Goggles 3. But what about if you don't have the DJI Avata 2? You want a fantastic FPV drone. You could buy this as a drone only option and then add these goggles on and save yourself around £200, $200 rather than actually buying the Goggles 3. So talking of price, these are going to be $229, £229 for the DJI Goggles N3, but they're also going to come in a combo as well now. So you're going to be able to get the DJI Neo, you're going to get the motion controller, 2 extra batteries, and the DJI Goggles N3, and this is going to be £449. This combo version isn't currently supported in the US. I'm hoping that will happen soon, but for the time being, if you want the combo version, that's just UK and the EU. But for picking these goggles up on their own, these are going to be available everywhere. It's just a combo version that's going to be limited. So if you want to go and check these out, I'm going to link these at the top of the description. I think they're fantastic value for just over $200, £200 to be able to get these. I think is great. You've got a memory card slot at the top of it. It charges via USB-C. You're going to get around about 2.5 hours of battery life. The battery is integrated now, so you can actually adjust this strap on here to get the perfect fit, but you don't have to like carry a battery pack around with you. The screen's really good. The comfort and padding, I think they're fantastic. A really good budget entry-level pair of goggles. Now, these are OcuSync 4 goggles here, but at the moment, at the time of actually launch, they only work with the DJI Neo and the DJI Avata 2. I'm not sure if these are going to work with the DJI Mini 4 Pro or like the Air 3S, the Air 3 in future. I know loads of you will be asking me that question. But if you want to get some goggles with DJI Neo, these are a fantastic choice. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, hit that like button, subscribe if you're new around here. If you've got any more questions on these, just let me know in the comments down below, feedback to you. Loads of videos coming really soon. It's going to be such a busy winter. This year has been crazy, but it's only going to get even better. I'll see you in the next one.